The 35th floor of the glass tower glints in the Sunday light. Its conference room a stage set for the most important negotiation of Rebecca Lane's career, though right now the tension in here could fry an egg on the table. Across from her, Sheikh Omar Allard fires off rapid Arabic, frustration sharp in his tone, while her translator, the one she'd painstakingly flown in, has vanished without so much as a text. The contracts, the 2 years of cultivation, the $40 million deal, all of it feels like it's crumbling right in her perfectly manicured hands. Omar pushes back his chair, his advisors already gathering papers, when out in the hallway, a little voice pricks at fate. 6-year-old Sofia Alvarez is sitting cross-legged with a book while her dad David, the building's janitor, wipes down water fountains. She's been surrounded by books since she could walk, courtesy of her father's second-hand scavenging encyclopedias, language guides, even a 1970s chemistry set manual, because when Maria, her mother, died, David decided knowledge would be her inheritance. 3 months ago, Sophia found an Arabic textbook at the community book exchange. Its letters like flowing birds on the page, and she hasn't stopped tracing them since. Historians still argue whether calligraphy is more art or communication. Sophia's vote is both. Now she hears Omar's words through the heavy conference doors and recognizes something deeper than business. His voice carries the ache of broken trust. She stands, curls catching the sunlight, and slips into the room like she's been doing this all her life. "Peace be upon you, honored uncle," she says in perfect classical Arabic, no less. "You said trust is like glass, but my mother told me broken things can become art if we piece them together differently." Even Omar's advisors blink in surprise, as if the kids just quoted the desert wind itself. David bursts in seconds later, mop in hand, panic on his face. He's apologizing, ready to whisk her away, but Omar stops him with a raised palm. He kneels so their eyes meet, asks where she learned to speak so beautifully, and when she answers that she learned from books, from listening, because listening is how you understand hearts, not just words. The mood in the room shifts. Rebecca, recovering her voice, realizes she's just been handed the most unlikely translator in New York. Soon Sophia is perched between them, turning technical clauses into living bridges, even explaining a pun about camels and venture capitalists that cracks Omar's stoic reserve. Somewhere between the Arabic coffee and a debate over liability clauses, the crisis melts into connection. The glass that almost shattered is being pieced into something far stronger. By the time the contracts are initialed, the mood in the room feels like someone just opened a window and let in spring air. Omar shakes David's hand with the same respect he gives Rebecca, and there's talk of continuing over dinner. David's instinct is to decline. Men in work boots don't usually dine with billionaires, but Sophia's hopeful look and Rebecca's insistence sweep them into a quiet, elegant restaurant where the linen napkins could double as small parachutes. Sophia asks Omar about building skyscrapers and sandstorms, about how you keep a city standing when the desert wants to reclaim it. Omar admits that even he once thought glass towers in Dubai were impossible. Historians still argue whether it was stubbornness or vision that made it happen. Over lamb and rice, Rebecca asks David how he manages everything alone. His jaw tightens, proud, not fishing for pity, and he answers simply, "We manage." Sophia, fiercely loyal, jumps in. "Daddy says money isn't wealth, love is." Omar studies the man's calloused hands, the way he corrects his daughter's Arabic letters with gentle patience, and says quietly, "In my culture, children are the flowers of paradise. Yours blooms with rare fragrance." Saturday comes with drizzle and tension. The gossip blog headline, "Janitor Uses Child to Manipulate Billionaire," has already made the rounds. The rumor paints David as a schemer who staged everything, and at work, people move their valuables when he walks in. Rebecca hires a private investigator who quickly uncovers the smear's source, a rival firm bitter about losing the deal. She also uncovers the rest of David's story: military service, spotless employment record, the scholarship fund in Maria's name. And realizes she's been walking past integrity in coveralls for years without seeing it. They arrive at the Metropolitan Museum's Islamic art exhibit in their best clothes, David's funeral suit, Sophia's favorite blue dress, with her mother's gold bracelet, and yes, the stairs follow them. But Sophia's excitement is unstoppable. She reads Arabic placards aloud, translates them for her dad, traces calligraphy with her fingertip like she's memorizing it. Omar finds them at a display on Al-Khwarizmi, the father of algebra, and tells David, "The dogs bark, but the caravan moves on." He invites Sophia to join him on stage when the scheduled speaker cancels, saying she understands the heart of the culture better than many scholars. David hesitates, afraid the whispers will follow her there too, but Sophia squeezes his hand. Mama said not to hide her light. And so, in a room full of critics, she speaks Arabic first, then English about language as a bridge, about her father's work making today safe so tomorrow can be brighter, about why a janitor's daughter can matter in a $40 million deal. By the time she finishes, the applause is rolling through the hall like a summer storm, and somewhere in the crowd, the lies start to die. Omar takes the microphone back, his voice warm but edged with steel, making it clear to every journalist in the room that the smear was a lie and that anyone repeating it will be hearing from his lawyers. Then, to everyone's surprise, he announces a scholarship, the Sofia Alvarez Foundation for Linguistic Studies, dedicated to kids whose minds are hungry but whose resources are scarce. Rebecca follows with an announcement of her own. David will be offered a role as community outreach coordinator. David stammers that he doesn't have a degree, but she cuts him off as what they need, the ability to see dignity where others overlook it. The weeks after feel like tectonic plates shifting under their feet. The scandal retracts under legal pressure. The journalist apologizes, and David, nudged by Sophia, accepts the job part-time to prove himself. His ideas quickly launch 3 initiatives the board calls innovative and essential. Sophia starts afternoons at a language institute, diving into Mandarin and French alongside Arabic, while David keeps her grounded, reminding her that gifts come with responsibilities. Rebecca becomes a fixture in their lives' library trips, Sunday dinners in their small Queens apartment, learning to see the city as David sees it, not just in terms of profits and glass towers, but of corner bodegas, playgrounds, and people who keep the lights on. Omar visits monthly, teaching Sophia classical poetry, while she teaches him odd American idioms historians still argue whether break a leg ever made sense. 3 months later, they're by the harbor where Maria's ashes were scattered. Omar pours mint tea from a silver pot that belonged to his grandmother, saying some meetings are written in the stars. Sophia answers in Arabic, then Spanish, that angels sometimes forget their wings, but you can still spot them, like in a janitor who keeps schools safe, a teacher who stays late, a businessman who remembers deals are about people. David asks her what she sees when she looks at them. A family, she says simply, first in English, then Arabic, then Spanish. The sun sinks, painting the water gold. They sit in easy silence, Sophia scribbling Arabic letters shaped like birds, working on a children's story about a girl who spoke the language of hearts. David watches her, thinking of Maria, realizing he's not just surviving anymore, thriving. And here, with friends who became family, he knows that brilliance can bloom anywhere, that sometimes the most extraordinary moments come from the most ordinary people. The evening air cools slowly, as if reluctant to disturb the warmth of their small circle. Around them, the harbor lights flicker to life one by one, reflections trembling on the water's skin. Conversation has ebbed to a gentle hum, snippets of Omar's childhood in the desert, Rebecca recalling her first clumsy attempt at Arabic pronunciation, Sophia humming a tune from one of her mother's old recordings. The kind of easy, unhurried sharing that only happens when there's no agenda except to be together. David leans back, letting the sounds of the city soften into the background, the distant horns, the muted chatter from the boardwalk, the whisper of water against the pilings. Sophia's laughter drifts through it like a ribbon, bright and light. He closes his eyes for a moment, holding on to the sensation that here, now, everything is exactly as it should be. Omar refills their glasses, the mint rising in fragrant curls, and remarks that some bridges are built without blueprints, that the strongest ones are made from trust and shared moments. Rebecca nods, watching Sophia draw spirals on the napkin in front of her, the pen strokes deliberate, patient, like she knows she's crafting something that will last. Above them, the sky deepens into indigo, the first stars pricking through. A small boat moves across the water, its lights trailing like a comet's tail. No one hurries to leave. The night feels like a gentle hand on the shoulder, urging them to stay just a little longer in this rare stillness. And as they sit for people bound, not by blood, but by choice, the city breathes around them, vast and indifferent, yet somehow holding space for this quiet pocket of connection. A reminder that even in a world of noise, it's possible to find the soft places and rest there.